Hi, I'm Kim Savides. I'm a master's student here at Utah State University. The black Rosy-Finch is a high alpine specialist of the central Rocky Mountain region. So Rosy-Finches are a really interesting group of species. They're super understudied in North America, and we don't really know much about them. They're a priority species for Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. That's how the project started, trying to figure out the survival rate of these species and where and when they go on their migration. That way we can conserve them best wherever they're spending most of their full annual cycle in. So this project is based off of capturing and marking birds with RFID bands, or radio frequency identification, which is the same technology that we microchip our cats and dogs with. Once those birds are released, they can then use a RFID-equipped bird feeder, and that feeder will passively detect those individuals and record where and when and which individuals were visiting the feeder, which helps us monitor which birds are hanging out at which sites throughout the whole winter season. So we mark them with a metal band, which has a 9-digit serial number on it. So if the bird is ever captured again or encountered somewhere else, anyone can report this number online and get a report of where this bird was banded and when. And then we're also banding the birds with a plastic RFID band, which has a pit tag right on this side of it. So both of these bands just sit on the bird's leg like a bracelet, and I can use these pliers to apply that band. And then once we have the bird in hand, we try to figure out how old that bird is and whether or not it's a male or a female. We can do that by looking at the different feather tracks on the birds and trying to see the color, the condition, and the amount of wear of those feathers to try to figure out both the age and sex of the bird. And then while we still have it in hand, we'll take a couple of measurements, including wing length, tail length, and a tarsal length, which is the bone in its foot, to try to get overall body size of the individual. And then finally, before we release the bird back into the flock, we take a couple of tissue samples. So I'll take a tail feather, a couple of breast feathers, and then I'm going to clip the little bit of the toenail of each one of the bird's central toes. And those tissue samples could provide DNA for future genetic work, but we plan on using them for stable isotope analysis to look at where those individual tissues were grown on the globe, which helps us piece together in a really low resolution where those birds grew those feathers, hopefully on the breeding grounds, and the claw samples could tell us where those birds were wintering, since those claws are constantly being grown and worn away again. And then, once all that data is recorded and those samples are taken, we can release the bird back into the flock. And the whole process takes about 2 minutes. So super quick, and often the birds go right back to eating at our feeders where we caught them. This project has a ton of different partners. USU is partnering with Wild Utah Project, Tracy Aviary, Utah DWR, Forest Service, US Fish and Wildlife Service, and also the Department of Defense, among a bunch of other partners. This is really a collaborative effort in trying to get as many stakeholders and managers involved as possible. Another aspect of this project is citizen science. As a whole, we really don't know where these birds are occupying. And it turns out that they're in a bunch of places that birders just don't have access to. That includes private property of ranches, and also just really hard to get to habitat. So we formulated the Citizen Science Project, which is a count protocol at a feeder. So anyone can sit at a bird feeder for 20 minutes and watch for Rosy-Finches and submit data to our project. So last year we expanded to the whole range of Rosy-Finches, but we got over 1,000 20-minute surveys back just from this winter of data collection. And from that, we were able to see that these Rosy-Finches are occupying a bunch of places that we maybe wouldn't have necessarily expected them to be for the whole winter. But it was really fun to interact with all these different people and get them excited about looking for birds and learning about the biology of this really unique species. You can go to Wild Utah Project's website and click on projects and Rosy-Finch Project, and all the information about our protocols and how to get involved are right there. Rosy-Finches are just really cool.